Hi, welcome to another craft video from the Kansas City, Kansas Public Library. I'm Cheryl and I'm in charge of the craft kits at the main library. And today's video is to accompany a craft kit that we'll be giving out at the main library starting December 1st, 2022. But if you don't have a kit, or if you're watching this later and you want to craft along with us, you can make this lovely, cute little snowman necklace with supplies that you can buy at any craft store and a hardware store. It's made out of little metal washers that you buy at the hardware store. Now these things are very inexpensive. They're only, I think the biggest one was 33 cents. And they're just tied together with cord here. So you don't need any equipment or anything like that besides a pair of scissors. All right, what you will find in your kit, or what you'll need to purchase if you don't have the kit, are 3 metal washers that you can find at any hardware store, silver washers. The size on these happens to be 1 1/4 inch for the large, 1 inch for the medium, and 3/4 of an inch for the small. And you'll want ones that have a big enough hole so that your thread or cord can wrap around it through it several times. These in particular happen to have some writing on them, but that's not a big deal. We'll just put the writing on the bottom, and that will be facing toward our body, so that will never be seen. So you'll just need 3 metal washers. This is about 30 inches, 25 to 30 inches of a black necklace cord. This is about 8 to 10 inches of any kind of ribbon. This is about 1/4 of an inch wide, so don't get too big because you're going to have to wrap it around and tie it off, and so it needs to be fairly skinny for it to look like a scarf on your snowman. And you'll need 2 pieces of gray cord. This happens to be embroidery cord, not embroidery floss, but embroidery cord. It is thicker than thread, but not as thick as yarn. You'll need a skinny cord so that it will wrap around through the hole 4 or 5 times. So that'll tell you how thin you need it. And this is going to be about 1 foot long, but we'll just be cutting off any extra. Okay, and I picked gray so that it would go with the silver of the washers, because this is what we're going to be using to tie the washers together into the snowman shape. You will also need to provide a pair of scissors. So let's get started. Alright, so I'm going to put those aside for right now, and I'm going to start with the 2 biggest washers. And now these happen to have writing on them, so we're going to put the writing face down because we don't want the writing to show. And I'm going to hold these 2 like this, with the small one on top. And what we're going to do basically is we're going to wrap cord around and around through the holes to actually basically wire these things together. So first of all, I'm going to put it down through the top one and put a tail of a few inches. You need some extra on the back so that you'll be able to tie it off on the back. And so I'm going to actually grab a hold of that and hold that tight while I'm holding that. That keeps it nice and secure. So now I'm just going to thread this one down through the bottom hole, and I'm going to thread it back up, thread it back down, and as you go along, you'll want to make sure they don't overlap. You'll want them nicely side by side, and you can pull it tight. It may loosen as you do this, but you can pull it tight when you wrap it around. And you're going to wrap it around, probably like 4 or 5 times. Okay, so I actually think I wrapped this around, looks like maybe 6 times. Okay, and you see I made them nice and tidy and they're not overlapping. If they are, you can readjust them because you want them to be nice and tidy. So now I'm going to flip this over to the back where I have the 2 ends of the cord. And I want to tie this in a knot. I'm going to cut a little bit of this extra off so that it's kind of out of my way. And you don't want it to loosen up. So when I tie it is when I first tie the first one, then I put my finger down on top of it, one of my little fingers here, and then I use these fingers and I tie the next one so that it doesn't loosen up when I'm tying it. And I tie it 3 times around. Then I'm going to trim this off. Don't get it too close to the knot, but just close, but not right up on the knot so the knot doesn't come undone. If you're worried about the knot coming undone, you can put a little drop of glue on there just to make it secure. And that knot's going to be on the back, so it will not actually show from the front. All right, so now I'm going to take my other piece. I'm going to lay the small one right on top of the first one, up the top, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. All right, so this is what it looks like when you are finished putting them together, tying them together with the cord. You'll see on the back, you'll see the knots that are on the back, and they will be hidden because this is the front. So now what we're going to do is we are going to tie your ribbon on between the top two to act like the snowman's scarf. So we're just going to wrap it around. I'm going to try to do this without getting my hands in front of the camera. And we're going to tie it like this. And we're going to tie it, once like that, and then we're going to tie it another time into a knot. Then what we're going to do is we're going to shift it just a little bit so that it's coming off the side, like so. And then we're going to trim it off about an inch. And I like to trim it at an angle. It's be like this. Now, some cords will stay like this pretty well, and some cords will start to fray and come apart. If yours is one that starts to come apart on the ends, you might want to just take a little bit of Elmer's glue or something and put a dab on the ends just to keep it from unraveling. But really, it doesn't really matter. So there's my little scarf on the snowman. So now I'm going to take the necklace cord and I'm going to line up the ends and I'm going to find the center. There's my center. All right, so I am going to take the loop and I'm going to thread this loop from the back to the front of my snowman on the top. And then I'm going to reach through the loop and I'm just going to grab the cord and pull the ends through and tighten it up. And that's how you'll hang your snowman necklace. And the other ends, I like it longer, so I'm just going to tie the two ends together in a little knot. And there we go. Now you'll try it on. If it's too short or too long, you can always cut off a couple of inches, but you don't want to cut it too short because you'll need to have it go over your head. Okay. So there is my cute, easy little snowman necklace made out of quite a few little simple ingredients or simple supplies that you can buy at the craft store and the hardware store. Thanks for coming to another craft video from the Kansas City, Kansas Public Library. I'm Cheryl. I'll see you next time. Bye.